Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video today we're checking out what 8 years in Germany does to you. So this video should be fairly interesting because 8 years in any place is a lot of time. We're just going to see how it changed his life and kind of things he does differently now. I believe he's from the United States originally, so let's get right into it for today. Let's go.
Years in Germany have changed me quite a bit. Now in this list I try to go over things that aren't such cliche, stereotypical things that are talked about all the time. A couple of the points are kind of that, but they're true.
Hey, how you doing?
I believe my phone got hacked.
I lose respect for them by 1%.
But I try to go a little bit deeper and really think about how I have changed as a person, specifically from living in Germany and Europe, and not just from getting older. And so let's get into it. 8 ways I have changed in 8 years living in Germany. I would say that I've become pretty conscious or aware of the food and things that I eat in my body, especially when it comes to kind of like chemicals and preservatives in food.
I mean, yeah, compared to the United States, that is a massive difference, because in the United States, the food is definitely a lot more unhealthy over there.
Shocking when you look at the amount of chemicals that are allowed in food in the United States and that are banned here in Europe. The food regulatory bodies here in Europe are a bit more proactive, or maybe I would say much more proactive, to where food companies have to prove that certain chemicals and additives are not harmful to humans before they can add them to their products. Whereas in the USA, the FDA is very reactive, and it is basically allow everything until proven otherwise. And there are thousands of chemicals that are in Americans' food supply that we are eating that are toxins and terrible for us. And I feel that every single time I come back to the States after being in Germany for a while. And then so I try and be as aware as possible when I'm in the States of what I am eating, and not poison myself with the standard American diet. So I would say I've become much more conscious of my health in that sense. Sort of along the same line as health, I've come to look at alcohol a lot differently.
Yes!
I think people in the States, for the most part, look at alcohol as a very extreme thing. It's either all or nothing. And I don't think that's a healthy way of looking at things at all. Obviously,
I agree, yeah. I think it's good in moderation, but you shouldn't be doing like every day or anything like that.
there are people who have
taking it to the
problems with
extreme.
alcohol, and that's a terrible thing. But I think living in Germany, you're able to see that, oh, this can just be sort of a normal part of life. It doesn't have to be extreme. You can enjoy a beer at lunch or a glass of wine at dinner or whatever it is, and it can just be a nice balanced part of your life.
Except for Oktoberfest, I'm pretty sure they go crazy over there as far
So
as
it's kind
I'm
of
aware.
abstract and a little bit difficult to explain, but I would say living in Germany has helped me have sort of what I've described as a seasonal approach to life. It's funny, my grandpa on my Italian side, he told me when I was probably 14 or 13 years old, because he visited Europe all the time, said that the people in Europe are more close to the earth, more in tune with the earth. And I had no idea really what that meant at that age, but now living here in Germany for 8 years, I totally understand what it is. And it's, like I said, a little bit abstract, but it's basically, I feel like people in Europe are just a little bit more in tune with the natural cycle of things, especially here in Germany. It's a 4-season place. You get summer, autumn, winter, and spring. You get the 4 seasons, and in some places in the States you do get
That's
that,
like the
but
United Kingdom.
Here in Germany, you for sure get it, and it kind of just helps you transition through different seasons of life, whether it be kind of the food that you eat. Laura and I have been talking, we've been trying to eat a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this. Like, the United Kingdom is very seasonal as well. Like, the food, people's mood changes as well based on the season. It definitely affects a lot of the way we live our lives.
Seasonal, it just feels more
I'm
natural.
surprised the United States something like that. I
good.
thought
And
every
even
country's
sort of
like that.
The way I go about life in the seasons, I don't think you need to do everything all at once all the time.
I thought that's every
There's a
country
time
though.
for everything. And I also like that because it helps me think, okay, whether you're in sort of a good time or a bad time, sort of this too shall pass. Things will keep going. This season will change. And that especially helps if you're in kind of a bad season.
Hey, how you doing? Good, man. How you doing? Good, man. Good. Hanging out, enjoying the weather, enjoying the sunshine. Up to anything today? Yeah, we're actually gonna head down to the lake in a couple hours and enjoy some time on the water. Very cool. Enjoy. Good stuff. See you around. Cool. Have a good one.
My love for small talk. This is a massive stereotype that Americans love small talk. Germans do not participate in small talk, and for the most part, this is true. You're in Germany here and you're going through the checkout line, it's very rare that the cashier is going to make small talk with you and ask you about your day, whereas
As it is, I agree with this. I don't really like small talk. Like I just don't like. I just want to get on with my day.
when you're in the States and you're going to get a coffee, they're going to ask you, so what are you up to today? How's everything going? How's your summer? And this is just standard. This is the American way. And I've had a little bit of fluctuations on how I feel about it, especially when I'm going back and forth between Germany and the States. Right now, I would say I totally miss the American small talk. I love it. There's something just positive and bright about
I gotta go
it.
with the
Even if
Germans
some
on
people
this
can
one.
say that, okay, it's a little bit superficial. This person can't actually care about your day. It doesn't care about your summer or what you're doing. You can look at it that way, but on another hand, you can also look at it as it is a nice, genuine gesture, and there's nothing wrong with smiles. The United States and the Americas are known as the New World. Europe, and here in Germany and these countries in Europe, are often referred to as the Old World. And living here in the Old World has helped me develop such an increased
Am
connection.
I the only one that's never heard that before? Let me know if you guys have heard that, but I've never heard of Europe referred to as the old world.
Connection to history. I think it's hard to avoid. I had a little bit of an inkling of interest in history before coming to Germany, but since living here and being able to go around to different historical sites and kind of live in a place where the Holy Roman Empire was, and there's just so much history, hundreds and thousands of years of history in these lands, it's hard to not get interested in it. I've just dove on into researching and learning as much as I can about history. It has also sparked now recently, after I've learned a bunch about sort of the 20th century history in Europe, I'm super interested now in American history, which is something I don't think would have really happened, or at least not that extremely, if I didn't ever live in Germany and didn't ever get this kind of spark.
See, I think that's pretty cool. Although he's learned about European history, German history, it's kind of inspired him to learn about his own American history as well. I think that's really cool, the fact that it's actually had a positive effect in that way too.
For learning about history. Now I'm entering into my learning about the American history, which is a lot shorter than European history, but I think living in the old world has really ignited my love and interest and passion for history.
That's good to hear.
For every 1 minute this person is late, I lose respect for them by 1%, and it is irreversible.
So I played football in college, and in college football they really hammer home punctuality. I mean, you have to be 10 or 15 minutes early to every meeting or practice or lift or anything like that. If you are not, and you're late, I love that.
I'm always like that. I hate being late. Obviously, sometimes you can't help it. Like, you can't control the traffic, any accidents. You can't, but you should always try and be early. And if you can't make it on time, you should just message them or say, oh, I'm running late. This happened. Don't just be late.
a very punctual person, but then coming to Germany, it has kind of taken that to the extreme for me. And now I get quite angry, and I find it to be quite disrespectful when people are not punctual. It is a robbing of everybody's time. I really, really do not like it. Germans are known, it's a big stereotype that Germans are very punctual. I actually like that. There's a lot of truth to it, and it's a very positive thing. The thing that I always try to remember that my college football coach said is, if there's a meeting of 90 guys on the football team and you are 1 minute late, you just wasted 90 minutes of people's time. That's an hour.
That's
and
a good
half.
saying.
So I always keep that in mind. Living in Germany for these last 8 years have hammered home the punctuality in my life, and I would like everybody to be more punctual.
2% gone. Forever.
This one's probably going to sound a little bit pretentious, and maybe on some level it is, but I feel like I have such a clear understanding and vision and perspective on the United States. I think when you're living in the United States, it's very, very difficult to see it from the outside and kind of see the full big picture. And then when you're living on the outside of the United States, you can see it from the outside and you can see it from a different perspective. But I think the fact that I've been able to live for prolonged periods in both helps me see my home country kind of in a complete picture. I struggle sometimes to talk to people about the United States and things going on in the United States here in Europe, especially because I know that they don't have kind of the full picture that you cannot get if you don't spend a prolonged period of time in the US. Same thing can be said for if I'm talking to somebody in the United States about the United States. I struggle knowing that they don't have the outside perspective and don't have the complete picture and perspective on the USA. Like I said, it's a little bit pretentious, but the people that I'm able to have the best conversations with and the deepest conversations with, and I feel like I'm the most stimulated and things are the most clear, are people who have lived in both for prolonged periods of time. And I think living here in Germany has helped ignite that and give me the full picture of the perspective of my home country. All right, guys, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos. I really appreciate it. Want to give a shout out again to the sponsor of today's video, CyberGhost VPN. Awesome VPN at a great price. Check them out at the link in the description below for a
Make sure you guys obviously go subscribe to the original creator. A great video about ways that Germany has changed him. And I have to say, the drinking culture seems to be a lot better in the United States. Obviously, with Oktoberfest, they obviously go all out, which actually should, but obviously don't overdo it every like very often, of course. And I think small talk I'm not really a big fan of, so that's always very good to not have. Like, I don't mind it in some situations, but I just prefer just to go about your day, you know. Like, it's just kind of, because you just want to get something done, and it's kind of like you have to put in some effort, and I'm just not a big fan of small talk. Obviously, punctuality is obviously very good. I definitely agree with that. And also, I like the fact that he spoke about the history, and it also inspired him to learn more about the United States history, which is where he's from. That's very cool to hear. So I definitely say he's had like massive changes from living in Germany compared to the United States. And it was cool because I feel like after 8 years, you are going to be severely affected by the country that you're in. And I'm a bit surprised when he mentioned seasonal changes affecting like the way he lives his life, because I feel that's like every country. Like, you act different in the winter, you have different food, you act different in the summer, and you act different in every season, in my opinion. So if you guys want more reaction videos like this, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone.